Here we are. Hello, hello. Good morning, good morning. Morning is top of the hour, 8 a.m. Welcome to BI101's first quarterly webinar. We plan on taking you guys through it, educating your decisions, and empowering you to make better ones. Today, we're talking about how managed services helps wireless, IoT, Internet of Things, and cloud from falling apart, keeping it all together, being the glue, holds the whole system in one place. With that, I'd love to introduce myself, Angie Moreno. I'll be your guys' technology advisor. I'm happy to help with any incidents, any issues. Call me, always available. And if you'd like to hear more about managed services, please reach out to me. My contact is right here on the page. Happy to answer questions. Of course, we have our CEO, Kevin Lawler, who could go without him. It's very important in our industry and brings us advice and experience that is the real world. He's lived through it and he has what we use as our baseline. And then, of course, Jeffrey Moss, our managed and services and wholesale product evangelist. He is the king of managed services and our lead on today's webinar for managed pro services and AppDirect's SmartSupport. With that, I did want to go into the range of services that now BI101 is able to provide, that we've partnered with AppDirect. Not only can we do that managed and pro services, we also have energy, from natural gas to your guys' solar, artificial intelligence, AI is now the future, and of course, infrastructure, security, making sure that your entire environment is in one place and safe. With that, I really did want to hone in on managing pro services today, as that is our topic. And I'd love to pass it on to Kevin. Kevin Lawler, would you share your experiences with us?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Angie. Appreciate the opportunity to speak. As you were aware, back in 2017, Business Intelligence 101 transitioned to AppDirect as our distributor, as compared to working directly with every individual partner. We partnered with AppDirect, and one of the main things that we were looking for as part of that was an IT support organization that could support us internally as well as our clients. Prior to that, we were working with a local IT firm who was providing our IT support. And that was starting to become problematic for us because while the IT support firm had some great technical expertise, especially in their leadership area, those exact resources weren't always available to us, and specifically not to our end users. So as our end users started working more diverse, geographically distributed, it was important that when they needed help, that they had a resource to be able to call. So my local IT firm wasn't able to provide this with that 24/7 support because users were having issues not just during business hours, and they needed assistance. So it was really important to me to find 24-hour support, that our end users had a resource available to them to either make a phone call, to create an email, or depending on the urgency, they could create an online ticket at their leisure. And that was a key requirement for us. The second thing that we were looking for was resources that were able to come on site when needed. For the most part, through the technology and screen sharing, our users were able to get support through telephone and through online communication. But there are certain times when we just needed a resource to come on site. And the local IT firm, although they were local, when we would need to have somebody on site, inevitably they had a very busy schedule, and we would get lines like, we're not available for, until next Tuesday or whatever it would be. And it just really wasn't getting the benefits that I thought I'd get with a local IT firm. It wasn't really coming to fruition. And finally, I guess, but the next thing we're looking for is more proactive management, because several customers, they probably could relate if they log into their key applications and look at their event logs, particularly Active Directory, things like that. There's a constant barrage of alerts and notifications that provided. And it really was confounding to me to determine which of these were critical, what needed to be acted on, what were just warnings. And I wasn't in position to make those decisions, and I needed really that expertise to be able to monitor what was going on. And when these alerts were critical, let's take on action immediately. Part of that was the patching process. Microsoft in particular, as well as all vendors, are constantly coming up with new updates. Their systems need to be patched. And if you weren't on top of that, then the nefarious characters out there were able to leverage some of these issues that the patches were addressing, and you would be exposed. So I really wanted someone that would proactively monitor those alerts and keep us constantly patched as necessary. Also, when it came to backups, we were very diligent in our backup process. We had a backup system. All of our files were being backed up. But then we would notice that there was a time where we needed a file, and we found out that those backups weren't actually running. So that was quite a problem for us, and that was another thing we needed our IT organization to make sure that that backup process was running. It was tested, that we knew when we needed it to utilize that it was available and working. So all these things were really a challenge for the local IT firm that I referenced. They had some great roles with the leadership, but they are much more reactive, and they're just waiting for us to ask them questions, and they would take care of those for the best part. Finally, really we needed on that proactivity was cybersecurity threats. We wanted a company that would be able to monitor our environment, protect us, and make sure that we were free from cybersecurity threats. So all of those things that I found with AppDirect, in addition, was guidance. As my business would change and our environment would move from more of an on-premise where people were coming into working at the office to working remotely, or we even had a user move over to Europe and started working, I needed a partner that could provide guidance and strategy with me and put a plan in place that we could follow. So all of this, when I looked at the different options, I came across AppDirect. I looked at their SmartSupport. It made sense for me, and hopefully I think some of our clients, when they hear Jeffrey talk about what AppDirect's able to offer them, they'll find that it makes more sense for them too. So that was really my experience, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Kevin. It's always good to hear past experience and from the guys who struggled through it, from you guys who had the challenges, worked through the challenges when there wasn't already a system in place. So now that there is a system in place, I'd love to hand it off to Jeffrey Moss to further explain our agenda and system.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you, Angie. And thank you, Kevin, for that background and overview. So as we get started here, and actually, I think we jumped forward one. Yep. Oh, I got it here, Angie. So as we get started here, just to give a high level overview of what we're going to be talking about, kind of to address many of the points Kevin mentioned there, as well as Angie as she kicked this off, is we're going to be talking today about our managed and professional services, honing in a lot on our help desk, which is what we call SmartSupport. We'll also be talking about our deployment services, so getting a technician on site locally to your business, as well as our NOC services and cloud infrastructure services. So really a complete end-to-end solution set to support our customers from the end user to the network through to the cloud, and then getting on-site support when needed as well. So as we get started here, I want to walk you through our managed and professional services flywheel. Angie showed you just a few moments ago our overall technology wheel, but this is more specific to just managed and professional services. The items that you see, that arrow over to the left or the right of the items, is really where we're going to be honing in on today. So starting in the top right is our managed services, network management, cloud infrastructure, and SmartSupport. We're going to be diving into each of those three here over the next few minutes. But everything else you see on here, you're also able to get through Bi101 as your strategic technology advisor. In addition to the managed services, we have a variety of professional services with our cloud engineering, and telecom. So we'll be diving and talking into those. And then separately, you can talk with Angie and Kevin about telecom services, which you likely already are today. So to get started with our managed services, want to walk you through the 3 different flavors that we have available. This is not an all or none. This is, you can pick and choose what works best for you. And what we do in all 3 of these scenarios can be fully managed or co-managed, meaning we can take on the full support or we can share that support based on your internal teams or other partners you may be working with today in support of your business. But starting over on the left-hand side, our SmartSupport service. This is our help desk. This is support of end users. Think of company employees. They need help with their cloud applications, their Microsoft, their Google, their Zoom, their Adobe. But they also need support on their hardware, their laptop, desktop, their printer, their phone, their tablet, and many other items. And we'll be diving in and I'll show you a matrix of all the different items supported with our SmartSupport. Next up in the middle is our NOC services, Network Operations Center services. We call it V-NOC, V being the name of our platform. We call it VEEUE. So it's our VEEUE powered Network Operations Center. And what this is meant to do is to keep your business, keep your network up and running 24/7 by 365, proactively monitoring and managing the infrastructure of the network, your circuits, your router, your firewall, and other wide area network and local area network devices. And then lastly is our cloud infrastructure services. All businesses today have some sort of cloud strategy. Either they're fully in the cloud, they're working their way into the cloud, or it's on the roadmap. What our cloud infrastructure services does is it monitors and or manages both on-premise servers and cloud infrastructure like Amazon AWS, Google GCP, or Microsoft Azure. And we'll be diving into each of these 3 in a bit more detail here over the next few minutes. And as I'm going through this today, if there's any questions that pop up, please drop them into the chat. You can maybe raise your hand as well, and we can address those questions as they come up. But so now let's get started into our SmartSupport. Again, this is our help desk offering specific to supporting those end users of a company. Today, we're supporting well over 5 million business users. So we have a very broad range of support. AppDirect has a large marketplace and we support all of those users. Our focus is really about first call resolution. We have over a 96% success rate of doing so, which is very high in the market. And our customer satisfaction. We send out a survey with every interaction. And I'll mention what those different interaction types will be here in a moment. But over 95% CSAT with the interactions when we're helping end users resolve their problems. So we have 3 different flavors of our SmartSupport. If you procure your cloud applications through AppDirect, through Bi101, we provide up to tier 3 level support of those applications at no additional cost. So that is a huge value for you to procure those licenses directly through AppDirect. We'll support those at no additional cost. In the middle now, going over to Plus, this would be for any cloud application, not any, I'll show you the list here on the next slide or in a couple slides. Cloud applications procured from anywhere, not through AppDirect, but need support. Think maybe Microsoft, Google, Adobe, Zoom, Bitdefender, Malwarebytes. There's a pretty good list. Doesn't matter where you procure it, we can still support it 24/7 at $9.95 per user per month. And then lastly, our premium offering takes what we have in Plus, so all of the cloud applications, but then it adds on the device and hardware support. So think that laptop, the desktop, the tablet, the printer, browser support, antivirus, a pretty good list of different items we can support, all for just $14.95 per user per month. In all three flavors, you have 4 methods of how your users can communicate with our help desk. By the phone, by chat, which is through our marketplace, via email, and then we also provide you access into our ticketing system through our marketplace. So however the employee wants to communicate with the help desk, we meet them how they want to communicate. And this is all supported again, 24/7 by 365. So to expand just a little bit, I'm not going to go too deep into this slide, but just to hone in on each of the flavors a little bit more. So the standard, again, this is in support of any applications procured directly through AppDirect, 24/7 support at no additional cost. And what we're going to provide, no matter what flavor you have, standard, plus, or premium, you're going to have a tile within our marketplace. And this tile is going to jump you off into the ticketing system. So for those users who prefer to open up a ticket, very easily, you can submit a ticket directly through the marketplace link logo here. We are powered by Zendesk on the back end, just so you know, and that's what we're using specifically in support of our end user help desk. Our SmartSupport Plus. So as a quick refresher, this is for any of those cloud applications that are procured from wherever. You could have procured them through a third party. You maybe bought them yourself. Whatever it may be, we can still support those. $9.95 per user per month. Same level of support. You have access in the marketplace to open up a ticket. You have the chat through the marketplace, email, and phone as well. And with the Plus, these are the different applications that are supported either on the standard or the Plus side. Again, the difference is if you procure it through Bi101 through AppDirect or procure it yourself. But all of these applications are supported tier 1 through tier 3 level support.
And with that, Jeffrey, we did have a question in the chat. I think it's a perfect time to answer it.
Yeah.
Scott asked, do we need to give you guys separate user IDs for all of these different apps? How are we managing? How does this work? How do we, SmartSupport, give you the support you need through these apps?
Yes. No, great question. And thank you for chiming in there on that, Angie, as well. So to that point, it's really up to the customer. So ideally, the customer is granting us access into that tool set. Let's use Microsoft, for example. They grant us access into the Microsoft admin console, and then our team can go in and fully troubleshoot that problem when it arises. That would be the ideal scenario. We're granted access into the tools, and then our team can fully troubleshoot. We can make changes, whatever is needed to resolve and remediate. If by chance we are not granted that access, we will still do the best we can to support it. But depending on the complexity of the issue, we may get to a point that we cannot go any further without access. And in those scenarios, if the customer does not grant us access into those tools, we will define a process of how we will swivel chair it once we reach that stopping point. So ideally, we're granted access into the console, but if not, we'll go as far as we can from a troubleshooting perspective, and then we'll pass it back either to the customer or third party, whoever may be managing that. But as long as you grant us access, we can support it fully, and otherwise, we go as far as we can.
Thanks for answering that one, Jeffrey.
Yep. And one other item on our SmartSupport, it's not only for troubleshooting, break fix type of things. It can also be used for best practices. So if you have employees getting set up with a new application that we're supporting and they don't know how to use it, they might want to find out how is a better way to utilize it from a productivity perspective. They can utilize and leverage our help desk analysts to provide guidance and best practices along with troubleshooting and fixing problems as well. The last flavor of our SmartSupport is our premium. This is really where we this is our standard for the most part. Of course, we have the other flavors, but this is the greatest value for our customers because this provides support of not only the cloud applications, but also the end user devices. So think the password resets, the printer not working, I can't get Bluetooth set up on my laptop, my tablet's screen isn't working. All those types of things we can support with our premium version. So this is, again, at just $15 a user a month, very inexpensive way to have a single phone number, single email to point your employees to get that support 24/7. The great thing about this is it can also be complementary. It doesn't need to be, we're 100% help desk for the company. It can be an after hours option. Many companies have 8x5 type support. They have an in-house person. This can be very complementary to your in-house IT person. Focus them on the more complex issues. Let us focus on the time-consuming, monotonous, very simple issues, but still need support, like those password resets as an example. And with our SmartSupport Premium, these are all the different things it can support. Again, it's not an all or none, but these are all the different technologies or solution sets that our SmartSupport Premium, again at only $14.95 per user per month, can support. So operating system, malware, virus removal, browser support, peripherals like the printers, the fax machines that are still out there, and many other things as well. So very inexpensive solution to really provide a good quality of life type solution to make things very easy for not only the employee, but also the IT team that's supporting the employees on staff. I put together a couple examples based on, SMB type of customers, so you can see what does this cost if I have 10 employees, 50 employees, 200 employees. You can see regardless of the size, and we do not have a minimum either. So it could be as small as a single user at $14.95 per month to get the support of all of those items that I just had up on that previous screen. So you're looking at 10 users, you're talking about $150 a month. 50 users is under $750 a month. And if you have 200 users, roughly $3,000. And what we see when we start inching up to that 200 employee or user count is it's usually more complementary. It's not a 100% help desk because like I mentioned, as you get towards 200 employees, pretty much every company at that size has at least one IT person. Usually that IT person is stretched very thin. So this is a great option for just that $3,000 a month to almost provide an additional headcount in support of those employees to take care of that off hours or 24/7 level of support. All right. So now shifting gears away from the help desk. So we got the help desk and user support covered. So now let's talk about getting somebody on site to support, a wide variety of tasks. This can be, break fix on a computer, on a wide area network device, a router, a firewall, a switch, an access point. It can also be site surveys, rack and stack of hardware, cabling, and the list goes on and on. But within our professional services, we have 3 different things we do for you, actually a 4th that I'll mention. We have our project management, where from the time you purchase something, we can professionally project manage it from signature to turnup. We have our engineering if you need configuration of hardware, devices, and technologies before they get turned up. And then, of course, our on-site support to have that smart hands locally to do the physical install or actual installation or turn up of new services. The way we do this is in a really cool manner of what we call buckets of hours, and I'll get to that in one moment. So our network implementation is specifically our project management. So you procure it with Bi101. We help project manage it from end to end. And if you need a technician on site, again, rack and stack, cabling, site survey, DMARC extension, workstation setup, we can get a tech on site, not only across the country, but anywhere around the world. So we have a very wide reach and a very broad expertise to be able to assist with really any of your network or data center type of projects going on around the world. And like I mentioned, we do this very simply through buckets of hours. So they come in either increments of 20 or 50. This is, think of it as that like retainer model. You know, you don't want to have to scramble to find a technician when something goes wrong. With us, you can purchase a bucket of hours, 20 or 50 or more. And when you have an issue, you reach out and we send a tech, project manage, and we deduct those hours from the bucket. These buckets are good for up to 6 months, and any unused hours, they would expire unless we purchase another bucket before they expire. So that's what we're seeing in the market. Typically, when buckets of hours are purchased, we'll work together, we'll talk it through, understand what do you have on the roadmap over the next 6 months, and we'll help right size the best size bucket of hours for you. You know, we don't want to oversell it, but we also don't want to undersell it because the cost per hour goes down the larger the bucket. So if we know we're going to be doing a 20 site project, we need two hours per site minimum, you know, we're going to recommend that 50-hour bucket because that's going to cost the same as the cost as a 20-hour bucket on the average cost per hour when you break it down. So for those customers that may have your own project management, we have a self-service option. You know, we have many customers out there, they have their own in-house project management group. They want to leverage them, but they don't know where to go for the on-site tech resources. We can provide the tech resources. We'll make the introductions for the appropriate project, as we have a handful of different providers we work with, and we'll let you as the customer work directly with that deployment partner and work with that column all the way over here on the right at $175 an hour. And just to kind of put a little wrapper around this, this is really meant to be your easy button. Like I mentioned, from the time you procure a service all the way until it's turned up, we're here to quarterback that for you. You know, it's something that takes some time, some resources. You guys usually have more important items to focus on. Let us take care of getting services turned up timely, efficiently, and effectively, and you can focus on, you know, the core business initiatives. That's another huge value of this service, is we have done this thousands of times. We know how to get certain services turned up effectively and efficiently, so you as the customer can start realizing the value of that service you purchased more quickly than usually trying to do it all yourself. All right. So next up here is shifting over, and I'm shifting back to managed services. And this now specifically is talking about the network and your cloud infrastructure. This is something we're doing today at a very large scale. We're supporting over 75% of the Fortune 150 with our NOC and cloud infrastructure services. When we provide these services to you, we're going to provide two pieces of the service. Our platform, which we call VEEUE, built on a combination of ServiceNow and LogicMonitor. So two really powerful enterprise-grade tool sets. And that is for our ticketing, our monitoring, our performance reporting, and ticket reporting, all into a consolidated view that is both carrier and device agnostic, focused on providing proactive network monitoring and management. Meaning from the time we detect an issue, we're going to notify you, letting you know, hey, we found this issue on your network, we got it, we opened a ticket with the carrier, with the manufacturer, whatever it may be. One of our analysts is on it, we're working on it, we're triaging it, and we're working that issue all the way through to resolution, 24/7 by 365, keeping you informed throughout that entire process. Over the last 12 months, we have worked over 322,000 trouble tickets. That's on a rolling 12-month basis. So that's a huge number. You know, nearly 1,000 tickets a day. Our NOC and our help desk teams are working with customers just like you to remediate network and help desk related troubles. And what I really like to say, this service, as well as our help desk and deployment, it really gets improves your QOL, or your quality of life. Reason being, you don't have to scramble or figure out what to do, who to call, where to go. Single phone number, single platform to monitor, to manage, and to remediate network-related problems. I did see a question just pop up. Let me address that here. So,
yeah, how long does it typically take?
Yep. So to get set up on our help desk services, I'll take that first. Help desk that I spoke on a few moments ago, it can be set up in a day, same day. You can go on to our marketplace, you can sign up, you can start opening tickets literally within minutes, right? Our help desk is not proactively monitoring anything, so there's nothing to deploy or turn up or anything like that. So very quickly, we can get help desk same day. For our NOC services, this is, again, your circuits, your firewall, your SD-WAN, your router, your switch, your access point. Those, our standard turn-up time frame is between 30 and 45 days. 15 of those days are factored in for data gathering. So if you know all of your network information, we can get that up front. Then within 30 days, we'd have your full network turned up and monitoring. We build you a custom platform for all of your visibility with your locations, your inventories, all of your performance monitoring and ticket monitoring will all be built, and that's what is done within that 30-day window. So we can move as quickly or as slow, I'll call it, as our customers want to. Every opportunity we work, it's fully project managed. So we work together. As soon as we get an opportunity together, an order comes through, a project kickoff will occur with all of the stakeholders, and we'll define what that go live date is. And then we will reverse engineer all the milestones from the go live date to see what we need to do, you know, in sequence to hit that go live date. But I would say 30 to 45 days is standard. We've done them quicker, we've done them in longer, but that would be our standard turn up time.
Yep, it's all about planning
Yep.
and implementation.
Exactly, Angie. And so what our managed services really do on the network operations center and cloud infrastructure side, what we do is we really address these three key points that most customers are struggling with today, if not all three, at least one of these. So we act as an extension of your team, of your IT team. So usually some resource or skill gap challenges, especially in today's economy with layoffs and things like that, it's happening more and more. We help fill in those gaps. So we have the expertise, we have the engineers, we have the analysts to keep an eye on the network 24/7, addressing issues as they arise. We also provide you with our tool set called VEEUE, our platform called VEEUE, built on LogicMonitor and ServiceNow, providing you the full visibility in a centralized tool set. A really huge value add of our service is we provide our customers with a read-only access into LogicMonitor. So for those maybe not familiar with LogicMonitor, that is our data and analytics polling engine. That's where you're going to see all the performance-related charts, graphs, and reports. We provide access to you into that tool set so you can see everything, and you'll be able to have all your ticketing, reporting, performance, all of it together seamlessly. And again, we are carrier and device agnostic. And what we do, what our goal is, it's really to maximize your network uptime. And the way we do that is by reducing these three core items. We reduce the mean time to detect and observe an issue or an outage, the mean time to understand what's going on, to triage it, to comprehend what is going on, where is the issue arising from, and then the mean time to resolve or remediate. All focused on maximizing your network uptime. When you look at, mid-market and enterprise companies, even SMB as well, many companies, minute or an hour of downtime can have many zeros in the number. Manufacturing of automobiles, for example, a minute of downtime can be upwards of $50,000. So focusing on getting networks up and running quickly is what our focus is. And the way we do that is not only with the tools, but with our people. So we've been doing this since the late 90s. We've been monitoring and managing networks. I mentioned we do this for over 75% today of the Fortune 150. So many large organizations are trusting us with their critical infrastructure. And we also support hundreds of SMB customers as well. So this is not only for large customers. This is for, call it 5 location minimum customers as well. We have a fully dedicated incident management team. What they do is every ticket that comes in is flowing through our incident management team for review to get assignment of priority. And lastly, during onboarding of all of customers, during that 30 to 45 day time period of turnup, is we work with each of our customers to build and create the customized ticket and troubleshooting procedures. So how are we going to handle things when problems happen? And those can be modified based on time of day, priority of location, different technology types, and other factors as well. Lastly, from the toolset perspective, I mentioned it a couple times, the 2 core toolsets we use, ServiceNow and LogicMonitor. We provide you access into our platform. So it's not, you're not getting a full ServiceNow license per se, but you do get the ticketing capabilities powered by ServiceNow, and our VEEUE platform is built on a ServiceNow infrastructure. So if any of you may be familiar with ServiceNow, you may see some areas that look familiar. All right. So starting with the NOC side. So this is really, again, focused on the circuits as really the starting point. Then we have the SD-WAN devices, if you have those. If you have multiple circuits, usually SD-WAN is in the mix. Router, firewall, switch, access point, other IP-enabled devices as well. Those can be IP security cameras. They can be printers. We even have a customer with an IP refrigerators, and they want to be notified when a temperature reaches a certain degree. So lots of capabilities. As long as the device is IP enabled, we can monitor it within our platform. As we shift gears a little bit from the NOC into the cloud infrastructure, we start with our cloud surveillance or our compute health. Think of this as on-premise servers for monitoring and or managing that device. Again, this would be a physical server where we monitor, we set, it's about 15 different thresholds, and when those thresholds are exceeded, you're going to be notified. Our surveillance product is monitoring only, meaning our NOC is not going to take any action on these alerts. They're going to go to you to take action. In that same breath, if you wanted us to take action, then we have our cloud control. It takes the same service as far as visibility on the cloud surveillance side, but now when those alerts occur, those get routed to our network operations center team to take action. And in the cloud, as well as on the network operations center side, we are co-managed, meaning it does not need to be all or none. So for example, with the different thresholds that are set in a cloud environment, let's say we have 15 thresholds. During onboarding, we're going to customize where each of those thresholds go. So let's say 10 of these thresholds go directly to the customer. The other 5 directly come to our NOC to take action. And those can evolve over time. It's not all or none again. And we can change those processes and procedures if you want us to take on more, or you want to take on more in support internally. And then lastly, on the cloud side, is if we are either monitoring and or managing that cloud environment, we can also help optimize that cloud spend with our cloud cost optimization. This is built in within our LogicMonitor toolset. Like I mentioned, you get a read-only license into that toolset. And what our cloud cost optimization solution does is it monitors your cloud environment, compares it to your subscription and your usage, and then provides cost savings recommendations. So in the bottom right hand of this slide that you see here, this is just a screenshot, a very snippet screenshot from within the tool set, and it's showing an example if you were to implement the recommended changes, and it shows you why we make the recommendation, how to make the change, all that good stuff, that you would save roughly $22,000 annually. And each of these little items down underneath that number expand out so you can see exactly what, why, and how. This can be very significant, especially as we see customers spending, above $2,500 a month, usually per month in cloud spend. You can start seeing a ROI on the cost optimization tool set. If you're spending a couple $100, this isn't going to be the best solution. You probably don't need this yet, but as your cloud spend grows, most customers have no idea what they're spending on cloud. This is a great visibility tool set for not only the recommendations, but also for your cloud billing to be able to get ahead of that. And that's actually my last slide. So I do want to pause here. I threw a lot out. Want to see if there's any questions by the group for either our help desk, cloud infrastructure, NOC services, or deployment. I know we covered a lot in a short time. So I want to answer any questions that may be out there.
Questions, go ahead, throw them in the chat and we'll get them answered. But if not, if later down the line you're like, man, I really should have asked my question, feel free to message us. That's what we're here for. Keep you informed, keep you up to date. So send us a message if you are a little too shy to send it in the chat today. I know we have 2 minutes left. I did want to ask Jeffrey, go back to our SmartSupport for a second. You know, a lot of my customers are the IT guy doing all this work, and they're expected to be monitoring and assisting with password changes and assisting end users in all these affairs. How would, my customer go to their boss and say, hey, boss man, this would really help me out. How can we expand on the use cases that guy can, use SmartSupport for?
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Angie. And so this is really, like I mentioned, this is really meant to enable and act as an extension of your IT team today. So if you're a small one man or one gal IT shop, or even a team, oftentimes what we're hearing is they're spread very thin. So what we can do and how you can take this to your management to position this to get you some additional help is to say, hey, boss, you have all this laundry list of things that I'm responsible for. I'm spread really thin. If I go on vacation, nobody's here to help. Those types of situations. If we partner with AppDirect with their SmartSupport for $10 or $15 a month per user, that's going to really alleviate me to focus on helping our team with the more critical items that are having to be pushed aside when I'm doing these password resets or other really basic tasks that aren't hard, but they take time and they take me away from, more important things within the business. How do we get this started? That's one angle and avenue. Another could be, I think that's probably the best angle and avenue is getting you some help, but positioning it in a way that it's going to make the company better overall. It's going to improve the employee experience because we have a 24/7 support team now that can help fill in the gaps, either when me, the IT guy, is out of the office, has a backlog of tickets, maybe on PTO or holiday. We have that coverage around the clock.
Yeah, thank you, Jeffrey. I don't see any other questions in our chat, and we are at 8:45. So I think that's all for today. You know, if you'd like, please raise your hand, throw it out there. Don't be shy. But otherwise, I think we are all set. Please follow up with us. Happy to give you guys a personal walkthrough or a little mini session of more facts and tidbits to increase your IT support within your office, within your organization, within your building. Thank you very much, Jeffrey.